Hey guys, Travis Britter with SOCEprep.com. Picked another question I'd like to go over. This is off my website, SOCEprep.com. Also study guides that prepare individuals that are in a basic recruit training program or that want to transfer their certification from another state to Florida, and they're facing the test that is required to get a certification in the state of Florida, right? So FDLE's statewide officer certification exam is what you guys are going to be staring down the barrel of 200 questions. Got to get an 80% to pass and to certify. So as you see, it's a test. It's going to look just like the one that you have to face at Pearson VUE, which is the organization that administers the test. I've got a clock that runs. You got 3 hours to knock this out. 200 questions. It'll be 10 field test questions. So let's knock this one out real quick. It says Whren versus the United States. So we got a lawsuit here. We've got a V. It was a case that set precedent. Precedent's what, guys? It's case law, right? Common law that has come forth from previous decisions that have been made by higher courts, right? So on blank, so I don't know what the blank is. The officers noticed traffic infraction that led to narcotics which were in plain view on a traffic stop. In a suppression hearing, the defense argued that the officers abused the probable cause in the traffic stop to investigate what they believed to be more serious crime. The court stated that per blank, officers may investigate more serious crime on lawful traffic stops for less serious violations. So we got a lot of legal jargon here, guys, right? Whren versus U.S. I know this is going to be a lawsuit that probably wound up in a suppression hearing and an appeal. What is a suppression hearing? It's when the defense attorney sees something that they think is fruits of the poisonous tree. What is fruits of the poisonous tree? Fruits of the poisonous tree is when you don't follow due process, right? If I poison the roots of a mango tree and told you, hey, you can eat all those beautiful mangoes you want, but I put poison on the roots, it may or may not kill you. Would you eat the fruit? You would not, right? Just like in courts, it doesn't matter what the evidence is. If the evidence was not found through due process, it's fruits of the poisonous tree, right? So traffic infractions, what do I have to have for a traffic stop? I have to have probable cause. What is probable cause? A set of facts or circumstances which would lead a reasonable prudent person to believe that the person in question did or was about to commit said crime, right? So in plain view, they saw contraband. What is contraband? It's something that's illegal, right? An arrestable offense. The possession of it is arrestable. The courts ruled that per blank, officers may investigate more serious crime while on lawful traffic stop for less serious violations. So it sounds like there was a traffic stop. Real quick, let me just tell you what Whren versus U.S. was. This is a dude riding around in the hood, right? High crime area. Police officers saw him. He was driving really weird, right? He was at like a stop sign for an extended period of time. Took a couple turns, didn't use a turn signal, failed to maintain lanes. So they're like, hey, let's run some traffic on this Bubba and see what's going on with this vehicle, right? So as they light him up for the violations of traffic infractions, they put him on the curb. They made their approach. They got their biographical information, license, registration, insurance. And what did they see? Crack cocaine in the lap of the violator who had just violated traffic law, right? So plain view, what does that mean? Can they go in and gather it? Per plain view doctrine, they can, right? So if a police officer is on a lawful stop or has a lawful reason to be where they're at, or they have a justification for the encounter with the citizen, and they see contraband in plain view, they can recover that contraband and they can arrest based on the evidence that was provided for them, right? So again, Whren versus United States was a case of the precedent on blank. The officers noticed a traffic infraction led to narcotics in plain view on a traffic stop and a suppression hearing. The defense argued the officers abused probable cause of the traffic stop. All right, and the court stated per blank, officers may investigate more serious crime while on a lawful traffic stop for less serious offenses. So what's going to define that down in the answer choices, right? A says the totality of the circumstances. I don't feel good about scratching that because I do like totality of circumstances. It's basically doctrine that just says, hey, everything will be factored in, right? What was the weather? What was the probable cause? What was the reasonable articulable suspicion? What was the attitudes of the officer? Was there any implicit bias? Was there any explicit bias? Was there anything that's suppressive? Was there anything that was oppressive, right? Everything comes in, right, when we're talking about totality of circumstances. So I don't feel great scratching that one off the board right now. I'm going to hold on to it as a contender. B says pretext stops. Let's say I'm taking this test and I don't really know what a pretext stop is. All right, so I'm not sure, so I can't scratch. I'm going to hold on to it as a contender, so I'm holding on to a lot. Hopefully I can scratch some in C or D, right? So C says search incident to arrest, right? So the scenario told us that the officers recovered the contraband in plain view. Search incident to arrest would be the officer's approach for the violation of traffic. The individual had a warrant. As a result, they searched their pockets before they put them in the back of the patrol car, and in the front right pocket was a baggie of crack cocaine. That's search incident to arrest. It's an exception to the Fourth Amendment. They're under arrest. They can be searched. So I don't like that one because it's a search incident to arrest play, an exception of the Fourth Amendment. We're going to scratch it. Good. We scratched something, right? Our odds just went up. D says inventory of a vehicle, right? It's another exception, right? It's an exception to the Fourth Amendment. It's not a search, it's an inventory. But if I have to tow a vehicle, I inventory the contents of the vehicle to ensure that there's no valuables that are going to be left behind that could be stolen, right? It's the benefit of the accused that is going to jail. If they've got a $50,000 wedding ring in the center console, I don't want to send that down with the dude that's a tow truck driver he might have a criminal history as well. We don't know, right? So I'm going to inventory that vehicle and make sure that there are no contents in it of value. The intention of an inventory is not to find contraband, but the courts have said if it's a lawful inventory and it's not being abused, then any contraband that is found can be held against the accused. So D, I don't really like that one either. I'm going to scratch it, right? So I've narrowed it down to 2. I've done what I don't want to do. I got it down to a coin flip, right? So it's either totality of circumstances or pretext stops, right? I'm going to tell you right now, guys, Whren versus U.S. is a pretext stop case. Pretext stops say that you can investigate more serious crimes while you're on traffic stops, right? So if they don't use their turn signal, I'll pull them over. All right, and I think there's criminal activity afoot. Maybe there's some prostitution, some quality of life crimes going on in the vehicle. I can start to investigate that, right? And I have to be careful about my interrogation. I have to be careful about self-incrimination because I might need to read Miranda. But I can investigate more serious crimes, just like what happened right here, right? Traffic stop that was lawful, plain view drugs, contraband was recovered, arrests were made. So good case, thumbs up. The judge told the defense attorney to pound sand on the suppression. So the correct answer was B. We're going to pick it. We're going to stick it. We're going to move on. Totality of circumstances up in A was a sexy trap, right? Because the totality of circumstances fits into a lot of things because the totality of circumstances is everything under the sun, right? But B was the correct answer. It was the best answer choice. We picked it. We're moving on at this point. If I can help you guys, soceprep.com. If you need a study guide, if you're in a basic recruit training program, or you want to transfer your certification to Florida from another state, I can help. Hit me up at soceprep.com for free materials and advice on how to pass the SOCE. Thank you, guys. Have a great day.